Nothing we say is investment advice. Please pause on all 3 pages of this disclaimer and read it.
Good morning, everybody. It is Cowboy, and it is 8:32 a.m. EST. And what is up, everybody? Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. We have an interesting look here on the JPY. You see that yellow arrow? If you watched the shows last week, I can't remember if I did it on the live lab with here on YouTube or if I only did it for the private audience, but I did say this was probably going to happen. This is a big move, guys. You're looking at the 3-hour chart. You're looking at this chart going back to mid-December of 2025. And Sunday was a big day in international politics and banking, and it's affecting currencies, and it's going to affect the whole market. It's going to affect the NASDAQ, Bitcoin, everything. So we're going to lay that out for you, why the Japanese snap election was important, how that's going to make a difference in the entire market. And you can see it first right here on the USDJPY. And I told everybody that I thought price was going to come up to this level and fall. And that it did. And it was, I said that back here. Now, I didn't know for sure that that was going to happen. But the snap election, okay, what happened was about 2 weeks ago, Japan dissolved their parliament. Can't even talk. Apologies. Japan dissolved their parliament. And they had a new election on Sunday. And Prime Minister Takaichi, her party won, and she is a nationalist. She is a conservative. She is a Japan first candidate. We can use a little bit more of that here in the US rather than people saying they're America first and actually be America first. That aside, what this means is that the model on which the Japanese yen has been predicated, if you will, for the last 20, 30 years, who knows how long, is that they are the liquidity solution of the entire world's, or most of the world's, equities markets, all their stock markets, right? So what does that matter? And what's going on here is Japan kept their money, their currency, extremely cheap. And how that's going to affect the world is that the whole world borrows Japanese yen, right? And actually, it's the Japanese bonds. And they use that to finance the world stock markets. Now, here's a nice little trade one could take right here. Just a little bit of a freebie for you there. This is a 1.6 to 1 trade. And it might pull up, it might not. We just had some data come out, so it might not come back up for a better entry. But what I might do here is I get a small entry right here, which I pretty much did, like a half size entry. And then if price can come back up and give me a new little entry point on the low time frame, then I would add to it. And I might even, like, I'm going to keep the stop loss where it is, but if price comes back up a little bit, and it should, give myself a nice entry up here maybe. It's a great place to enter. And then my second trade might look like this. Something like this. So this is another opportunity possibly coming up. So there's just a little bit of a freebie, but it's coming down pretty hard due to the data that just came out. So let's get back to the politics, right? Because the Japanese yen has been cheap, the rest of the world, Europe, the Western world mostly, Europe, the US, has been able to use that to finance the stock market as liquidity. That liquidity engine may be coming to a standstill with this new election because Prime Minister Takaichi's party got a supermajority in their parliament. So they can actually have their policy enacted unencumbered. They can just say, hey, this is how it's going to be, and that's it with a lot of stuff. I mean, essentially, it's a little more complex than that. But with that supermajority, that gives that party a lot of power. So they are Japan first. They may start protecting their currency. They may hike rates. Now, the last time rates hiked, the stock market lost something like 20%, and they lost it within a few days. The last time Japan hiked their rates. Just understand that. That's this huge, huge thing that can happen. Now, I get the feeling Japan is going to be orderly about such things. I don't think they want the world economy to fall apart by hiking their rate, huge percentages overnight. But it is going to change the landscape of the world. Now, how is it going to do that? You're probably going to see a lot more money printing in the West, the US, Europe, maybe, also to a smaller degree, places like Australia and New Zealand, a lot of the major markets, Switzerland. Now, New Zealand, those smaller countries don't have the capacity to finance entire markets by printing money. Not really. Australia might have some. They have a lot of commodity output there. But long story short, there's going to be inflation. There already has been, but it's probably going to ramp up. So Japan has been experiencing all the inflation for us in that regard. They have 100-year mortgages and have for a long time. There's a great article. Basically, it's called Princes of the Yen, and it's a really good. It's like a documentary. I think it's 2 hours long. It's on YouTube. It might be an hour, might be two. Princes of the Yen. Watch that, and you'll learn how debt was used. And I don't know if they meant to enslave people, but effectively they enslaved people financially over in Japan. And Japan has been under the West control since the end of World War II. A lot more beholden to the British than people know. And that system is probably ending with this election. And when they decide to protect their currency, it's going to send shockwaves through the whole system. And we're probably going to see money printing on our side. We're going to see inflation. We're going to see the devaluation of the dollar continue and ramp up. Probably see our stock market head up. Probably see precious metals and commodities head up. Everything's going to head up except for like U.S. debt, because everything's going to be priced in U.S. dollars or Federal Reserve notes, or even the U.S. debt is going to become far less attractive. A lot of it's probably going to come home. We're going to see what could be a hyperinflation cycle. Now, it could take 1 year, 6 months, 10 years, 20. We don't know how long any of that's going to take. We don't even know if it's going to happen. But what we can do in the meantime is essentially get outsized gains by trading, by taking trades like perhaps this one. We're going to see how this one goes. This move already has started to reverse back up, and that's fine. I was hoping for a better entry anyway, but at least I got a small position, right? So that is the look. That's the news. That's probably the most consequential news, is that Japanese parliamentary snap election. And I think it was on Sunday. So let's move over. We'll take a look at Forex Factory, see what data came out. Let's see here. Today is the 10th. Okay, so retail sales came out for the US. Really low. Okay, so this is a dollar week look, right? Retail sales expectation for core was at a 3% tick up, and retail sales was at a 4% tick up, meaning that increased sales, right? Better retail. Not so much. It was, and I think, this is month over month. So this month versus last month, no change. And I'd imagine that being, I don't know, perhaps they expected more because Christmas is done and people don't spend that much money right after Christmas. But now that we've had some more paychecks, people go out and spend more money. People aren't spending money. Now, this is according to the data. It doesn't mean that it's real. We always have to be careful about data, but understand that the market's going to react as if this data is real. And we also need to understand that the data may be real. Just know that that's also possible. And if it is, it means people are not spending more money now than they did last month, when it was expected that they would spend slightly more. And as these numbers go, that's actually significantly more. So, this is a pretty cold print. So what do we have tomorrow? And that was, by the way, right as the show started, which is, pushing the charts as you see them. Let's take a look at tomorrow. We have some employment data coming out at 8:30 a.m. EST. By the way, as you may be able to hear my voice, I was not well for a number of days. I didn't get out the weekly update. Just didn't do it yesterday. I had a house full of sick kids and everybody wasn't well, and just too many complications. So I wish I could have, and I'll probably get one done today and have it out tonight, because the rest of the week doesn't have any major news. So it is worth doing. So we'll get one out to you guys. Apologies. It is what it is. I'm just going to look at US. I'll go over all of this stuff on the report, but just looking at the US stuff, right as the show happens, unemployment on Thursday, unemployment data, and then right as the show opens, CPI. So Friday's actually a big day. Friday's major news, but that's okay. I'll still do the report. Let's go back to the charts really quickly, and then we'll move on. It's about time to go to the private live lab. I will take a brief look at Bitcoin before we do so. I know a lot of people are watching that one, and it's just continuing to fall. Uh, we do have this bit of a kind of a hopium. It is technically a flag, right? This is a bullish formation, and it doesn't mean that it's going to play out. There's a lot of bearish pressure on Bitcoin right now. And honestly, the targets are down by like it's like 52,000. This is this larger formation you see drawn. That's a head and shoulders. The targets for that were 74,000 and 52,000, I believe. I remember the targets. Yeah, let's just go ahead and back out and get the real targets, and that way we can at least have an idea of what might happen. Am I sharing? Yeah, Joaquin. So sorry, I had a private message from one of my newer clients. Didn't know how to look at the video in the private live lab. Okay, so oh, sorry, folks. Joaquin is actually helping me out there. Got it. Okay. So apologies there, but Bitcoin here, this large formation is a head and shoulders. So I'm going to derive the targets. Right there. Okay, so the real targets are at 68.4, which we've already hit. Target's already broke past that. And your next target is this 52,000 at the bottom. So probability in this environment is pretty decent. The price will make it down here before it does anything. Now it may not. It's Bitcoin. There's a lot of hopium out there. We got some dollar week news, which tends to push things up. Just looking at the chart, I would guess that we're going to see 52 really soon. But if I were to actually kind of look at my other stuff here, it's just an indicator stack. I still think it's going to head down before it heads up. I really do. This doesn't look very bullish to me. There's always a chance that it will head up. That can happen. Let me put it to you this way, and this is what I'll say, and then we'll move over to the private live lab, is that if this doesn't go up and it goes down, or even if it like kind of goes up weekly, WEAK, not weekly as in days of the week. Like, okay, let's just draw it out. If this pops up and rejects right at 74, it's probably going to head like very, very strongly down to 52,000. Okay. And otherwise, it's probably just going to grind and head down. Now, I could be wrong. And the exception to this bearish look is if price continues sideways. And it's hard to say what number it needs to hold above for the bullish look on this. If I were to just to look, I'm going to just look at some very old data here, going back to like last year. 75,000 is an important number, right? It's near the top of the last bull market, which was 69,000. And then you have 70,000, 75,000, actually 74,000 right here, which I have drawn a line for, right? But on the way up, price bumped its head on that, pulled back down, and then kept going. That's an important number. That's an important point on the macro, 74,000. So if I zoom back in to the 3-hour chart, we can talk about how this might look in a bullish scenario. And it very well could happen. Bitcoin is a wily beast. It is a wily beast. So what might happen is if price can grind sideways and do who knows what, maybe it goes down a little bit, maybe it goes down a lot, whatever. But if it can somehow miraculously get above 74,000 sooner or later and stay above that for like a week or two, then it might head back up. And if it does that, it's kind of like all bets are off. It's really hard to know what it's going to do after that. This is not a likely scenario. I got Koob in the comments saying he believes that Bitcoin will head down more, but not much more, and it will most likely chop for the next 4 to 6 months. Yeah, that's a really good thesis. If it does that, I think if Kub is right, then I would expect it to grind down, maybe drop, and then kind of hang out in maybe this area, maybe the 50,000, something like that, and chop around. But ultimately, Bitcoin tends to fall 80 to 90%. So let's just say 80 to keep it conservative. And let's say we never see another high higher than the 126,000. Well, what's 80% down from that? And I think it's even gone 85% in the past. We can look at that later in the private live lab, but I need to broaden this out. Okay. So 80% is 24,000 from the highs. And that's Bitcoin tends to fall that much. I mean, I'll show you guys like really, really simple, guys. This is like clockwork. From the prior high to the low, 76.9%. And that's being generous. Like it probably was deeper, like just slightly deeper than that. So if you want to get exact, it was 78%. That's 80 in 2021. And if we go to 2017, 2018, it was an 85% drop. So 80% drop is what it's done each time. Now, there are only 4 halving cycles. Bitcoin's a relatively young, it's a relatively young asset and asset class. So it's hard to, there's not a lot of past for us to look at, but the past that we do have has been pretty consistent. And I could go back to 2013 as well. I believe the numbers are very similar. So to go below 30,000, there's precedent for that. There's some other metrics that actually go against that, but we'll see. We'll see. And I do have metrics that help. Kub wants me to look at the weekly RSI. Yeah, there's, I mean, the problem with oscillators is that in a true like hard event, that can stay below 30. So, it's only come down like 4 times. Yeah, well, the question is how long did it stay down there? And now look at the monthly RSI. It's gone below 30 many times, right? You look on the monthly RSI, it not only has it gone below 30 many times, but it stayed below 20 from August of 2021 all the way to December of 2022. So we have to be real careful with oscillators. They can stay like they can tell you certain things, but they don't tell you the whole thing. Anyway, that's just a little technical talk. Thank you all for watching. We're going to head to the private live lab. Link is in the description for a free algo. You see me build the algo and you see me do all the things that it takes to put it to work. Now, the algo does require that you optimize it. So please do that. Optimize the algo before you use it. But I show you how to do it. And it's like really easy to do. Like you could get it done in a couple hours. And it's a very basic algo. If you want to know how to actually like take it and put it into practice and not mess it up, like I could give you my algo and you'll screw it up because you don't understand the rest of the game. And to get that, we're over at algofactory.tech. Or if you just get that free algo, it'll lead you over to us, right? So we hope to see you soon. We'll be back for the live show tomorrow. If you are on the list for our emails, for our email updates for the week, I will do my best to get that out to you guys today, provided that my house doesn't fall apart with a bunch of sick kids and everything else. Unfortunately, I'm feeling a bit better today because I was like, seriously, I was down for the count. It was a bad deal. We got V the Gorilla here just in time to escort us over to the private live lab. V, how you doing, sir? V, are you there? V, are you there? Okay, V probably cannot hear us.
Oh, I can hear you now. I was waiting for
Okay.
my pods to kick in.
All right, cool. You got here just in time to kick us over to the private live lab, sir.
Oh, perfect. Perfect. Listen, you guys, don't sit around and wonder if this is for you, because it is. Don't wonder if how you're going to profit. We'll show you how. We'll teach you how to build the algorithms. I'll trade on your behalf 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and show you whether the market's up, down, or sideways, how you can make money and profit from it. So join us in the live lab where we give you the secret sauce on the entire operation here and how it all works and how you could profit. So we'll teach you how to trade like a hedge fund pro. Cowboy, take it away.
Join us or die.
You're gonna die just